Cinch of Basile. I am Basile, your wonderful host, and you're joining us on Facebook. Thank you so much. But don't forget, you can call in at 844-790-8255. Again, 844-790-8255. Besides our live stream on Facebook, you can listen on at americamatters.us and the TuneIn app from your phone, tablet, or just search America Matters. That's right. I'm here with my wonderful, gorgeous, beautiful wino of a co-host, Janice Hermson.
Never tell Basile anything. Do not tell him.
She is no wino, folks. Trust me.
No.
She is no wino. I'm here with my beautiful, wonderful Janice Hermson, my co-host every Tuesday from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, New York City time for those of you who are all over the world. You can always find me at Basile Fans, Basilefans, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. And then what you got to do is just say, oh, my God, Basile, we love you so much, and just click us and just go from there, really. I want to thank all my Facebook fans as well. We hit that big, huge 10,000 mark. I want to thank my co-hosts.
Isn't that awesome? Congratulations, Basile. That's a big feat.
Yes, well, I am
not
now,
your big feet, but other feet. You know.
Well, it is what it is. You know, I don't want to say that I've become like really arrogant now that I hit that plateau, but I'm wearing a scarf for no reason whatsoever, and it's inside the office studio.
This is to protect that wonderful voice of yours, right?
Yes, which the voice happens to be a little bit sore tonight, and I don't know why, but it is what it is, and I got a sore throat. But I still sound marvelous, don't I?
Oh, but of course.
Isn't
that what I'm supposed to say?
Yes, of course. Yes. Oh, well, another bottle of wine goes to Janice. Okay. We have amazing guests all times, and today we are looking forward to work with a gentleman who I have known for probably about 2 years. Doug Harris, also known as Jr Mintz, has enjoyed an 8-year syndication run with Connecticut Radio Network, heard daily on 8 New England stations, joining us on the second half for that interview. And I got to be honest with you, I've known Doug for a couple of years. Probably one of the sweetest cats. And I'm really looking forward to talking to him because he just got this whole new gig that he was just appointed to because of, you know what, sometimes, you know what I like about certain people that, you know, you don't even know all that much. You know them really well, but you don't really know them, who they are. And you know, it was really, really cool to see he was appointed to this position, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. And we can, you know, talk about a few things as well, Janice. You know what? I was in Harrisburg, and I want to thank all the people that came to see me in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, at Boomerangs, where the wonderful Comedy Zone is at. It was a great weekend. I want to thank you all so much. The weather kind of hit us a little bit towards that Sunday night, but I'll tell you what, where it's really cold is in Hell, Michigan. As a matter of fact, it's cold as hell. Do you like how I did that? Cold as hell. Anyway.
That was very good. Very good.
Yeah. But anyway.
Where are you going to be?
I am actually going to be going to Mexico, Cozumel, the western Bahamas, and kind of digging that.
So I have a question for you. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm going to interrupt anyway. Why is it that sometimes I see your gigs on your page and sometimes I don't? Because I'm sure your fans might wonder that too.
Oh, you know, I post them. I don't put them on every day and stuff like that.
Okay, so you don't always have everything on there where you're going to be?
No, and they can always go to my website for that. They can always go to basilelive.com, and that's where we have all of our stuff set up. If you happen to see some, as a matter of fact, do you think I should put that on a regular basis?
I do. I do.
Do you really?
Think that, I do. I think that, you know, I mean, you never know when somebody's traveling or, you know, they just might like to know that you're out there.
Now,
you know.
Basile, the only ones I wouldn't put on if I were you would be your private parties, your private events.
Really?
Yeah. Because you don't want public showing up to those private events.
I do.
To be able to get in.
I do. I want to piss off all the people who maybe for the private gigs that I like doing. You know, oh my God, another 75 showed up and you only have dinner for 100. Oh my.
You are a mean man, Basile.
So I'm kind of happy about that. Yeah, no, not the private ones. If it's a private function, of course not. Because I do stuff, private functions for Boeing. I've done stuff for AT&T, for American Airlines, U.S. Air, the defunct U.S. Air no longer. March of Dimes. I've done a lot of private functions for all of them, for the big shots. And McDonald's, it's always been nice to do for them, and because they pay you in French fries.
I was going to ask you that. I thought maybe it was going to be fish fillet.
Yeah, it's a Happy Meal. You got a
happy meal. All right. Everybody's happy.
Yeah, everyone's tickled to death, absolutely. But I want to thank all of them again in Harrisburg. I'll be on the Basile Opa cruise with Royal Caribbean. I leave on Saturday morning, and I have to be down in Florida, Miami, catch it. The Opa cruise it's like, it's kind of crazy because I got to entertain in general audience English that I do. And then I got to do my stand-up in Greek for the Greek audience. There's probably about, I think, like 650 people are going to be there, something crazy. So
that's fun.
I'm not going to have a moment's peace. I'm not going to have a moment's peace.
Wow.
But the thing is, you know what? I love it. And so next week, we're going to have to play on Tuesday. We're going to wind up doing the best of because I will be on a ship. I wish we could go ahead and do something for our next.
That would have been really fun if you could have.
I would have loved that, to be able to do that. My goodness, that would have been so much fun. Interview some of the people, the passengers that see me, either inside the theater there or with, because they got me in the ice skating rink doing my Greek show, so it's going to be really fun.
Wow.
These ships, this is the biggest ship that they have, Royal Caribbean has. Truly amazing to see this ship and how big it is. You can't even feel if it's a bad wind or if it's rough seas. Don't even feel it. There is a park on the ship.
Really?
A park with grass.
With grass.
With grass, yeah. So you don't really get an opportunity to really see that much of something like that in your life, let alone anything else. But again, for all my fans, thank you. Please, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, go to Basile Fans. Basile Live for all the dates, but we're going to put all that stuff on there. Right now, you know what we got to do? We got to hit our sponsor thing. We got to pay those bills. So we'll be right back with another segment of Pinch of Basile after these messages.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ, a Lotus broadcast station, the power of radio since 1967.
Are you shy and don't want to talk on the air? Text us your questions or comments to 775-237-2266. Now back to the show.
Are you there, Basile?
I am here.
Did we lose you?
I am here. The music is blaring in my ear. I didn't know exactly where I was supposed to come in on that one.
I just thought I'd be obvious. What the heck?
No, I know. We were, when the music's great, when that song Mise à l'eau comes on, and that's the Pulp Fiction version of Mise à l'eau, and that was actually a Greek song. A lot of people don't know that. They all associate it with it being like part of Americana culture because it was on one of the greatest movies ever made, Pulp Fiction. As a matter of fact, we'll be asking Doug Harris, who's our film critic, about Pulp Fiction, because I like that movie. Anything with Tarantino, I like it because it's bizarre. It's a little bit off the wall, So I love it. But anyway, we're back. You're listening to Basile all around the world. That's right, for my fans in Australia, in South Africa, all throughout Europe, here in the United States, Canada. They even love me in South America. Can you believe that? They love me in South America. Now, I would have never thought that. But I got a letter from the Taco Bell people, and they said they love when I eat. You know how many times I've been down in Mexico and asked for a Mexi Melt? They don't know what that is. They really don't know what that is. But I'm hoping one day we can start that Taco Bell. Do you think a Taco Bell fast food company would do well in Mexico?
Only with the tourists.
Only with because I just see this poor guy, Juan, go, Mexi Melt. What is a Mexi Melt? Oh, God's sake. Anyway, we're back every week on Tuesday between the hours of 6 to 7 p.m. We'll be on air with America Matters. Listen, you can always get in with us, really, 844-790-8255. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Basile Fans. Always check us in. And you can actually text us. Janice, give them that number.
That number is 775-237-2266. So text us if you're a little bit shy.
Yeah, please do so. I've got this thing we were talking about. I love song parodies. And I was unaware because I didn't watch the Grammys all the way through. Did you see Weird Al Yankovic?
I didn't. I did see that article, but I did not see that. I didn't watch either, so, you know.
Oh, my God. I was very, because I always consider Weird Al Yankovic like a novelty act,
right.
which, you know, he is. But his videos are hysterical.
Yes.
And I truly love him. I got to be honest. I thought he was good. But believe it or not, this is Weird Al Yankovic. He beat out Guns N' Roses and the Grateful Dead.
Isn't that something?
For his latest, Grammy win, according to Zach O'Malley of Greenberg of Forbes magazine. It says here, Weird Al Yankovic snared the award for Best Box or Special Limited Edition Package. Besting the following nominees, including Guns N' Roses and the Grateful Dead. I would have thought that would have been impossible. But I guess people are really into it.
I guess they are. Well, you know, you were in a parody, weren't you?
Well, I've done 2 CDs that I did. They were Greek parodies. One was Men in Skirts, and the other one was Hey Yaya, that I did with a very, very talented cat that I wound up doing named Jimmy Santos out of New York. And we did them, and, you know, they were fun. They were fun to do. And, you know, when I did, some of them, we thought, oh, my God, this is terrible, because we were so tired one night. We cut a couple of the songs. We really did this one song late at night. And we were up to 2, and I said, oh, this is going to suck. And the next morning we heard it. We were laughing our asses off. It was so funny. And so I was really, really, happy about that. You know what? Like I said, I brought up Hell, Michigan. The show was hysterical, you know, last week.
Yes.
I gotta tell you, I really enjoyed it. As a matter of fact, I'm thinking that maybe we should take this show and do a live broadcast from Hell, Michigan.
Are you going to go to Hell, Basile?
I am going to Hell.
You set me up for that, you know.
Yeah, I know. But the thing is, I'm going to go in a basket. So I'll be going to Hell in a handbasket. So, wow, really? You're gonna moan on that one? That one you're going to moan
Got
on?
it.
Okay.
Got it. Yeah, Paul Bond says, I guess that's where the expression "it's cold as hell" comes from Michigan.
Okay, thank you, Paul Bond, for that witty repartee. No, Paul, hysterical cat. Yeah, Paul, I got a lot to talk to you about. We'll talk later on, buddy boy. But, you know, listen, Hell is, I want to go there because I've been through there before. But I think we should do the show, and I'm being serious. I think we should do the show live broadcast from Hell, Michigan.
It would be interesting.
Come on, we can do it. Once we hit 1 million listeners, follow me on this, 1 million listeners.
We got a ways to go.
No. Be positive. Be positive. Listen, did I ever think I'd have over 10,000 followers?
Oh, okay.
Well, I did, but that's not the point. The point is we got to go there. And there are other places, right? There are other places known for Hell, isn't there?
Yes, there are. And so you threw this to me, and I wasn't ready for you. Yeah, no, you did. Right. No, it's okay. I actually was telling you that after the last show, my partners and I were actually really laughing about the segment because we really did have a good time. It was fun.
Oh, yeah, it was funny.
And so they started looking up all the different places named Hell. And there are many more than you would ever think. One of them being Hell, California. And I guess some people might resent that, but, you know, I don't know. For some, it is Hell, right? And the Cayman Islands. There's a Hell in the Grand Cayman, the Cayman Islands.
Really?
Hell, Norway. There's a village there. And then in that same village, there's Hell Station, which is their railway station. And how about Hell Creek, a place in Montana notable for, you wanted me to say this one, Cretaceous dinosaur fossils. Some geologist is going to correct me on that. So there you go.
That's the way I would have pronounced it, Cretaceous.
Okay, all right. Well,
that's the way I would pronounce it.
There's even a Hell's Gate in, of all places, the Bahamas, right? And Hellhole Gorge National Park in one of your favorite places, Basile, which is Australia.
Australia. All my Australia fans out there, I love you guys. I'm coming back. There's going to be a big announcement coming up in the next 2-3 weeks. And also for my fans in the UK and throughout Europe, big announcements coming up for a big international tour. So listen up, but I will be back in Australia. Have you been to Australia yet?
Me? No.
Yeah.
I have not.
You never been?
I have not been to Australia. My father was going to move us to Australia when I was 15 years old, and my mother said that she would divorce him.
No, she said hell no.
Really?
She said hell no.
Hell no.
Right. She probably did, and more.
No, you're forgetting one of our United States on the East Coast.
Which one is that?
Hell's Kitchen.
Oh, yes.
I wrote that down, Hell's Kitchen, and I lost the note. Oh.
See, Craig saved you. Do you want to tell him about the other one, the last one on my list there?
Let me see.
The one that I thought was really ironic?
The unincorporated.
The one,
Hell?
Yeah.
There's an unincorporated community. Is it, how do you?
I don't know how to say that.
Accomack
could
County?
Be. Yeah, Nope. Go ahead.
No, I think it's Accomack, Accomack.
Right.
Accomack.
Right.
That's the way I would have pronounced it. Accomack County, Virginia. And I guess, this is, I don't know what to say about this. This is just a little bit crazy. I wrote down, what about the Hell's Kitchen was there. Okay.
You want me to tell?
Yeah, read it, because I can't.
Okay, if you can believe this, I started to say it's in Virginia.
Right.
And this is Little Hell. Do you think their governor has been there lately?
Oh, I think he's been there, and I think he's still.
I'm sorry for the governor. I really am.
I think he's in hell right now.
All three of them.
All three of them. They're all in Little Hell, aren't they? Or they should go there.
If they went to Hell's Kitchen, they can be served up.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you just got to feel sorry for people like that, though, man. That's just like, are you kidding me?
What do you do with that? Come on, man.
You got to be kidding me.
But you know what? I think if you wind up taking to the point where, my God, I think I would be judged as an idiot if they judged me on what I did in high school.
Well, I do agree with that. I really do. I think that we all have done very dumb things at some time in our lives, especially when we're young. So
yeah, but not Craig. Craig has always been a very.
Oh hell no! I've done it. Mine as recent as this morning of coming to work
and doing this show.
Hell yeah! I'm gonna be doing that show one day.
There you go.
I think we've all done something crazy and stupid in our lives that we regretted. But
yes.
Me personally, I've never done anything like that. But
no, I haven't either. But I've known people who have done dumber things.
Yeah,
so,
that's true. I mean, what are you gonna do? I mean, there's so much emotion going about that thing right now. What do you think they should do? I mean, we don't touch political humor.
No, but I couldn't resist that one. I'm sorry, I had to do it. When I saw Little Hell was in Virginia, I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, they're cooking in there right now.
Yeah, it's something.
But no, I'll tell you what. For those, and you got some great stories here. You also, well, you know what? I'm going to talk about this at another time. About the study about emotion.
Yes, yes. Let's do that another time because we're gonna run out of time here.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we have a tremendous guest. I got to be honest with you. I met this guy like 2 years ago, and one of the greatest sweethearts. And loved working with him. We may be working again together someday as well. But I'll tell you what, love this guy. But listen, we're going to come back with our wonderful guest, Doug Harris, also known as Jr Mintz, and he'll be right back after we close after some of these messages. You're listening to A Pinch of Basile.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ, a Lotus broadcast station. The power of radio since 1967.
Want to expand your advertising dollar? Sponsor this or any America Matters program by calling 775-827-8900, extension 2. Now back to the show.
Oh, we are back on the Pitch of Basile. Don't forget, I am streaming this live on Facebook. You can also listen on the TuneIn app or any phone device. Once you have the app, just search America Matters. And if you're on your computer, go to americamatters.us. If you want to comment, go to my Basile fans page on Facebook, and that's BASILEFANS. If you have any questions for me, give us a call, 844-790-8255, or you can also text Janice. Can give you that number. Janice, hit that number one more time, because
Absolutely.
I'm sure we're going to have people.
775-237-2266.
You heard it, folks. Listen,
2266.
I knew you wanted me to say that. I wasn't going to do it.
You are the reason why I don't have nice things, for God's sakes. Okay. For over 30
saw the look
years,
on his face. I couldn't believe it.
For over 35 years, American movie lovers have enjoyed his unabashed, on-air antics of movie critic Jr Mintz, the creation of Doug Harris. The Houston radio affiliates have also included Rock 101 KLOL, The Buzz, the new 93Q, News 92 FM. Mr. Doug Harris is also a member of the Texas Radio Hall of Fame and Broadcast Film Critics Association, and was recently elected. And I'm very proud of him as president of the Houston Film Critics Society. He's just an unbelievable man. Movie reviews by Jr Mintz are now heard on NASA's digital radio station, Third Rock Radio. Welcome to A Pinch of Basile. Dougie, I love you. How you doing, brother?
I'm worn out already. I mean, first we got the cool licks from Dick Dale. Dun, 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 dun. Love that. And now you gave me an introduction. Couldn't have been better if I wrote it myself.
Yes, it's amazing. It is truly amazing. Doug, how do I do it? It's
I
magic.
don't. You're just amazing. One of a kind. Too big to fail.
so true. So true. Doug, great to have you on the show. And,
that remains to be seen, but we'll give
it a shot.
Okay.
Man, to be the president of the Houston Film Critics Society, I don't know if you saw that coming. I don't know if you knew that, but I got to tell you, that's a hell of a coup. And, I knew that you did the character of Jr Mintz. I know that you did that stuff, but I got to tell you, I'm really proud of you, and I want to send you all the kudos in the world for that. There's a bunch of questions I got to ask you.
Uh-oh.
Okay. First off, the Kevin Hart thing. How did you feel about how it went down? Because this year's Oscars, I don't know how it's gonna play out. Talk to me. Tell me.
Well, so the Oscars without a host is a relatively new concept, and you and I are both of the age where we remember some really most excellent hosts, including Mr. Johnny Carson, Billy Crystal, and then they sort of got experimental and adventurous, and we had some guys and gals that just didn't quite nail it. David Letterman, I think he's still apologizing for that performance. Remember Oma? Oprah, Oma. Oh, man. The Kevin Hart issue is a bigger one than just we can't use him for this show. We struggle to celebrate the art from the artist, and a comedian is an artist. I think you can speak to that. So do we put aside these transgressions, certainly transgressions that are 10 and 15 years ago, and celebrate the fact that he makes us laugh, or does he get denied this platform? I think he could have handled it better, and he should have handled it quicker. The bigger issue is how will the Oscars do without a host? And I don't know. I cannot imagine them without Billy Crystal or Johnny Carson or even Whoopi Goldberg or some of the people that really did a nice job. But at the same time, some stuff I could have done without, like some of these production numbers that go on for 12 minutes that are basically designed to sell, collectibles at the Disney store. So, I think we could do without that. But it remains to be seen what happens.
One of my favorites, I probably would have to say, of all the years I've been watching the Oscars, Billy Crystal with Jack Palance. That was probably, and you and I have talked before. Regarding award shows and stuff like that. And I always love something that's a reoccurring type of a character. And with Bill Crystal pulling the Oscar that was on its side, that huge Oscar, and Jack Palance sitting way at the back end of it as he was, being introduced. That to me killed me. That was one of the funniest moments.
The one-handed push-ups that Jack Palance did, and then we're reliving stuff that hopefully is alive on YouTube somewhere. But a running gag is nice. And speaking of running gags, David Niven was presenting when somebody streaked. I mean, and Marlon Brando not showing up and sending Sacheen Littlefeather to accept. There are so many historic moments in Oscar history. I hope we get one. I hope we get one here on the 23rd. Is that a week from this Sunday?
Yeah. I think it is a week from this Sunday.
I hope we get one then, too.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. It's amazing. Now, I love going to movies. I always have. My wife, you can forget about it. My wife would rather, paint a million-mile wall instead of going to the movies. I don't understand that at all. But for me, popcorn and candy, Twizzlers and popcorn with a diet pop, because you must have balance in everything. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
So between that, I mean, do you see, unfortunately, movie theaters going by the wayside of the buggy whip, because people are bringing the movies to their home through the computer, do you see the movies slowly, these theaters closing down?
No, I think there'll always be a spot in the American society for a theater that is well run, that respects its consumers, and the people that pay $12.50 a pop plus. They go in there, they get the popcorn that you mentioned, they get a drink with it so big it's got an undertow. I mean, the going to sit in a room that's cold and dark with a bunch of strangers to laugh and cry and feed your face. There's a certain magic to all that. So I don't think it's going away. I think that the bigger issue we have to deal with are the theater owners continuing to grow. We have a great theater here in this area called the Alamo Drafthouse. You've got cushy seats, as good as any first class on any aircraft I've been on. Great food served right there, alcoholic beverages, hot and cold running waiters to get you stuff. You park for free out front. The screen is crisp and sound is clear. So they're working hard. And others, I see about 3 movies a week, and not all the theater owners step up like that. I think a lot of the art house theaters that have added, fancy pants snacks and a full bar, they're going the extra distance. So the short answer is the theater owners are going to have to keep up with the pace of the theater goer, and at the same time, if you can afford to build a home studio in your house, go for it. Get the big airline chairs and your DVD and Blu-ray library, and pack it in and watch it at home with the kids. Because you can pause and take a little comedian's break, an AARP break.
I got no problem with that before. You mentioned that you see 3 movies a week. Let me ask you a question. How many movies do you think you have probably gone to a movie theater and seen?
Oh, I don't know. I got to do the math. Can I get my smartphone? I got a smartphone here the size of a Pop-Tart here. It can do anything. But let me give you another figure. So you mentioned the Houston Film Critics Society the other day.
Yes.
We have 37 members. Very eclectic bunch. Collectively, those 37 members in the last year have seen 10,000 movie titles.
Wow.
Now, that's pretty impressive. Now, some of these guys and gals, they'll go into a theater and they'll see 4 or 5 features in a day, and no jumping theaters. Okay, we pay our way, and certain theaters give us courtesies as far as passes and all, and so that's a staggering number to me, 10,000. And can I tell you something? Aren't that 10,000 great movies out there? So These folks are troopers. They're absolute troopers to go see. Last night I saw a movie called Happy Death Day to You. That means it's a sequel. All right, and a sequel. So I'm broadcasting from the studios of Eskimo TV here in Houston, Texas, 4th largest city in the United States. First word spoken from the moon. And we went together, my colleague Jason Escamilla and I went to see this movie last night. It's a hoot. It's an absolute hoot. And I went in with absolutely no expectations. Last week, or a week or so ago, I was seeing Peter Travers' documentary about World War I that's made with actual footage taken by the BBC and stored in the Imperial War Museum with the actualities of these soldiers. It's quite a disparity in what's out there, and yet it's my gig, man, and that's what
is
I get to do.
Is that the one? Is that the one that they added color to it and made it look like a real, true running motion picture? They made it really bring to life. There's something that was just recently done about World War I footage that they added color and they added voices to it.
So Peter Jackson, of course, gave us the finest trilogy in the history of filmmaking with the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And his great-grandfather, or his grandfather, was a British subject and a soldier in World War I. So he was asked by the BBC and the Imperial War Museum to do something with all this footage. So of course it's in black and white. He did have it colorized. He took their actual audio, and you're actually listening to the voices of these men who moments later, well, there's a reason the film was called They Shall Not Grow Old.
Yeah.
It's gut-wrenching and heartbreaking, but it's a remarkable piece of cinematic work.
That's fantastic. As a matter of fact, if you ever want to get a taste of see what trench warfare was like, go to the War Museum in London, England, and they have converted this one space into a trench warfare situation. The smells, the sounds, everything. And it was even, you get so intense in there, you really go, wow, I don't know what to even say about this. And a friend of mine knew I was a war historian. He goes, I got somewhere to take you, mate. Didn't tell me where we were going. I went there. I literally spent 5 hours in that museum just looking, and I probably spent an hour just in that trench warfare area. Just unbelievable to see what these people went through. Listen, we're going to be right back. I'm not going to go anywhere with you because there's a bunch of questions. I want to hear what your favorite movie is. I want to see if it ranks up there with me, okay, because I'm a real prick about this stuff, too. I want to know what's coming in the future, what some of the past movies that you really dug that didn't do so well. Who are some of your favorite actresses and actors? I got to be honest with you, Doug, I'm so happy that you're here. And, Janice, I'll even let you ask a question.
Oh,
maybe.
Wow, maybe.
Just maybe. I don't want to, I don't want to
Don't set me up.
I can't. No, I won't. Just you can't serve her wine. That's all I'm going to tell you, Doug. No wine at this one. Here.
Solo Cup, National Cup of Texas, right here.
Not a problem. But, ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to A Pinch of Basile with my wonderful guest, Doug Harris. And we're going to be right back after a few of these messages from our wonderful sponsors. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Here on America Matters.
Unable to listen to the whole show? A recording of today's program will be available later today. Visit americamatters.us and click on the podcast link. Now, back to the show.
Oh, we're back. Oh, so glad you could join us. You're on A Pinch of Basile. We are talking to Doug Harris, very, very close friend of mine. And thank you for joining me on Facebook. And don't forget, you can call and text in, too. A lot of you, I'm sure, you film aficionados that you think that you are. Doug will have the answers. And the thing is, I think he's fair on some of the stuff that he's written. Sometimes I agree, sometimes I disagree. But today, you can ask questions, make comments, tell me what's on your mind. Right now, you can call in at 844-790-8255. Text us, message us on Facebook Live. You can do whatever that. And if folks, as I said before, I have Doug Harris with me. And Doug, I got to ask you a question. Of all the movies that you have watched, of all the movies that you have watched, what do you profess to be your favorite all-time movie? And then I'll tell you mine.
Well, it's not the first time I've been asked that question, so I don't want to be cavalier or flippant about my response. But the finest movie made that I've ever seen is The Godfather. It is beautifully cast. It has Can you imagine anybody else playing Don Corleone? Can you imagine anybody else playing Tom Hagen? Can you imagine anybody else playing Sonny or Michael or anybody else playing the Abe Vigoda role, Tessio, right?
Yes, Tessio.
It's a magnificent piece of work.
Well, I think we have some technical difficulties going on here.
Are we having technical
There
difficulties?
we go.
There we are. Are we back on? Are we okay?
Oh, we're
not.
Okay? We're not hearing Doug.
We're not
we got
hearing
you,
Doug.
Basile.
Not hearing Doug? Okay, hold on.
Let me see. Are we hearing Doug now? Folks, for those of you who are listening, only listening to me. I do not have that. But
you're hearing Doug close. Because that was him saying, "Oh, you're not hearing Doug."
Okay,
No.
so Doug is back on.
You're all on.
Yeah.
You never left.
Okay.
So,
well, what the hell was Janet? Is she drinking again? Is
It's
Janice
that
drinking
wine. It's that wine.
So, all right.
Those of you that missed the winning lottery numbers, they should have it posted later. We can't repeat them. It's Nevada law. We can't do it.
No, I got to tell you, I love. There was one scene that I always got a kick of because I was always, there's always crazy sex, right? And it was always when Sonny had the bridesmaid in his room.
Yes.
During the sister's wedding, that was one of my favorite parts as a kid. It was like me watching National Geographic magazine going to the Africa issue. I always thought all naked women carried a spear and an actual shield because I was like, oh my God, that was so sexy. Love that part. But we're very close.
Yeah,
Very
what's
close.
your favorite?
Once Upon a Time in America.
Same genre, some of the same fate. Wait a minute. Robert De Niro, who else?
De Niro was in there. I mean, there was a lot of great actors. Robert Woods was in there.
James Woods.
I'm sorry. James Woods was in there. I love period pieces. I always have loved period pieces. And there's something, although corrupt, something very cool about being in that time period of growing up in the mobster type, times. I would never think to let me know that I was tough enough to be a mobster. I could never. But that was, some of the best lines in the world today.
And they did eat well.
Leave the gun, take the cannolis, stuff like that. Take them to the mattresses. These are actual words, wisdom that I still use today. And to me, it's hysterical. But that's okay. What's your favorite take on who do you think is going to win the best picture this year, Doug?
So let's make a quick distinction, just as the A&E channel does, arts and entertainment. So there are very artistic films, and then there are those that are quite entertaining. And so we have to salute artistic performances and cinematography, which, by the way, they're not going to do this year. They're going to do it during a commercial break. Big hoopla there. And stuff that's just entertaining. So if we're looking about something that the average Joe lunchbox can enjoy and take the family to and all, I gotta go with Green Book. It's a remarkable piece of work. You've got a great performance by Mahershala Ali, and I just love saying Mahershala. I think it's a wonderful, and that's the same guy that's on True Detective. So you've got Viggo Mortensen. It's a classic tale, so to speak, of a problem that still is out there for us to deal with. It's got good music. It's got heart. It's got action. It's got great performances. When I look at pure entertainment, I think that I have to give that to Green Book. At the same time, Bohemian Rhapsody. I am not a music historian. I lived through a lot of that. You lived through these times too.
Sure, absolutely.
I did not. I met, I think, Brian May from Queen. I didn't mean the other guys, but I was a fan. I don't care if it's out of sequence. I had a heck of a good time. The guy that played Freddie Mercury, Rami Malek, he's incredible. He did. They used to say about Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers did everything Fred Astaire did backwards and in high heels. Okay, so this guy did everything with this incredible apparatus in his face and still managed to give an incredible performance. So for pure entertainment and a good bit of art, I got to go with Bohemian Rhapsody and Green Book. I thought Black Panther was a remarkable film, but, a lot of people have said, well, it's a superhero movie. Some of the other ones out there I'm less excited about, but there is both art and entertainment out there. And the oversight to me in Oscar nominations is that Won't You Be My Neighbor, which was the documentary made about Fred Rogers and Mr. Rogers, didn't even get a nomination. And that's one that the Houston Film Critics Society gave the award for Best Documentary. It's a remarkable film, and it's not the self-serving, pandering fluff piece it could have been. It's a remarkable portrayal of an amazing man and some incredible times in U.S. history, and it's worth the price of admission. Although I think now it's a Netflix or a DVD. So, and I'm rambling now, but I'm speaking with passion about what I hope happens on the Academy Awards night, and what's not going to happen is for Won't You Be My Neighbor to get its just due.
And, listen, Fred Rogers was definitely a wonderful icon, an American folk hero icon. Even when I was a kid, I would watch because we had public radio, or public television, and I would watch that as well. But and then someone told me that he was, a an assassin or some type of a thing. And I'm like, is that true? If that's true, I'm really nervous about it.
It's not.
I didn't think it was, but I'm like, no, he was an actual sharpshooter, and he would, I'm like, really? But he was a Marine, wasn't he? He was a Marine?
I don't think that Fred served in the military. I don't recall that being I think they would have played that up. What I do recall him doing is saving public television. He went before Congress, and he educated this doofus, and he schooled him, and he changed. This is available on YouTube now. You go on there and look at the footage, and he absolutely schooled him. It's about a 7 or 8 minute piece, if I recall. He schooled this fellow, and he, in one afternoon, saved public television.
I've seen it. I've seen it on It was on Facebook at one time. And if you ever want to think that, if you're really passionate about something, explain it to them like they're a 5-year-old, and explain it to them and this one senator changed his mind just like that. If you remember, I think it wasn't DeConcini. I can't remember who the congressman or senator was, but he says, you know what?
He's forgotten, but we remember Fred Rogers. That's
absolutely.
the important bit. Yeah,
absolutely. This has got to be probably one of your favorite things to do in the world. I got to think, what's it like to wake up in the morning knowing you got to go hit a couple of movies and do something? Does your wife ever go with you?
Fancy Nancy does on occasion go to the movies, but she's become a bit particular because we have 2 or 3, 4 screenings a week. And so she's gotten a little more particular. Who are the stars? Was it one of our favorite theaters? What's the nicest restaurant close by? Are they open afterwards? Those kind of things. But so most all of the 37 members, I think all of them do it. This is like a side hustle for a lot of people. Nobody really makes a full-time living just reviewing movies anymore. We do it for the love of it and the fun and the handful of shekels that come our way. So you've got to have your daytime gig, and in my world is in advertising and marketing. So this is a natural extension of me appreciating someone else's showmanship and art. And it's a hoot. I mean, it's not bad to be a movie critic who gets to walk to the front of the line at a screening, who has a reserved seat. You just have to, hold up your end of the deal. You can't walk out of movies you don't like, and you have a responsibility to report on stuff that maybe isn't your cup of tea. I'm not a big fan of animated features. I have no, children in my house. My friends' kids are all grown, so I can't really speak that that's my passion. Oh my gosh! And we have 3 spectacular films coming out this summer. You've got Dumbo, you've got Aladdin, and you've got there's another Toy Story. So I need to go see those. I will be excited about the special effects, but sometimes you have to go see stuff that's just interesting or intriguing, or because it's an important film. So
I agree. That's a great way of saying it. But I got to tell you, I think you're lucky. I'm going to give Janice this one opportunity while we still have about 1 minute and 2 seconds left to ask her question, because we need to cut it short. Janice, you have a question for Wonderful Doug?
Do you have a favorite place that you go to watch movies? Try and keep it simple.
I do, actually. So I live in a part of Houston that's rather historic, and there's a theater there called the River Oaks, and it's one of the original freestanding Art Deco style theaters. Now, it's no longer one big screen. It's one big one plus 2 smaller. They have a full bar that offers adult beverages. They have a great hot dog and snacks. It's within walking distance of my home, and Fancy Nancy and I can zip over there and see an art house film, sometimes general release. So that's the place. River Oaks Theater, Houston, Texas.
Awesome.
Well,
thanks.
Doug, I want to tell you, I loved having you on the show. Thank you so much for joining me. Ladies and gentlemen, Doug Harris, Mr. Jr Mintz, I appreciate it, my brother. You are listening to A Pinch of Basile all the time, anywhere around the world. We'll see you all later on. Peace, everybody.